right, ladies and gents, welcome back to the pod. We've just watched some exciting games finishing up, and we want to talk all about it. Ian, how's it going?
Yeah, good, buddy. Yeah, it hasn't disappointed, but it has disappointed. You know what I mean?
It's disappointed some hearts for sure. It's been a different flavour of playoffs, that's for sure. I mean, it's kind of repeating history in some ways as well, especially with Utah. You think that after finishing first and having this amazing three-point shooting team and great defensive player of the year winner, that had enough to go a bit further. But man, disintegrated yesterday. So I'm sure the fans out in Salt Lake City pretty disappointed at the moment.
Do you think the insertion of Conley impacted their rotation somehow, like the way they played?
That's a good question.
Because he hadn't played for a while, and then he was put in.
He hadn't been playing
into the mix.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think
he was 1 for 8, right?
Jeez, rough game for a man on 35 million, I think. Which is, I think there's a couple of people that are getting overpaid at the moment and not delivering to their salary, but we'll get into it later too. I think they would have had to play him and try to exploit, you'd think, the fact that they've got that bigger piece to come in while Clippers didn't. I mean, what I saw was that in the second half, they just used Rudy Gobert's best attribute against Utah. Basically, they played through him, Rudy Gobert. They pulled him out to the perimeter.
Yep.
And essentially, once they pulled Rudy out to the perimeter, they'd kick it out to the corner or wherever Rudy wasn't, essentially, and attack through there. That happened over and over again. I mean, they don't switch. They didn't switch like most other teams would and keep their center at home. Rudy's probably been doing that his whole life, and it makes him one of the great one-on-one defenders, you'd think. But that's pretty much what happened. It's crazy. It was like a video game, man. And that's what I was thinking about, how these guys eventually get to a deep series and they just know what plays work and what can't be defended by the other team, and they just run and run and run that play over and over again. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's always been like that. Like you look at how people run it, and usually, every game, one team will have a massive run because they run the same plays, and then you see them come back and those same plays don't work the next game because they've figured out how to defend it, or they've come up with a different play.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. I mean, Donovan Mitchell still had a good game. I think his shooting could have been a bit better.
Yeah.
Yesterday as well. And the crazy thing is, talent usually wins out in the NBA in the playoffs. But you would have thought they had more talent yesterday compared to
Clippers.
Didn't
have Kawhi, right?
Exactly.
And old man Reggie Jackson stepped up, and
Reggie Jackson, man, came from nowhere. 27 points.
He was popping a few threes, and bloody Terrence Mann, this guy coming out of nowhere, 7 for 10 from three.
15 of 21 shooting, 39 points. That's
he top scored for the Clips. So like, what the hell?
and Reggie Jackson 10 for 16 with 10 assists. I mean, that's crazy games. I don't know if they can ever repeat that, but those are crazy games. Unbelievable. Reggie Jackson, so Florida State, second round pick 48 in 2009. Can you believe it? I think he's going to be a bit of a star, really.
Yeah.
He's going to be in for some money after this, that's for sure. Good for him, man. Good for him.
Yeah, and the only reason Terrence Mann's getting game time is because Kawhi's out.
Yep, exactly. Utah, look, I guess they're going to go back to the drawing board again. They've got most of the pieces there. Donovan Mitchell, is he a number one type player for a team? He's getting there, I think. It's probably more, I think he's getting there, but potentially it is, you're spot on. It could be the fact that they need to get more out of Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Or moving him along and using that salary for someone or something else at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think probably the best one is probably moving him along because I think he's nearing the end of his years, and you're not going to get the same production that he gave back with the Grizz.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely at the end of that chunky contract, I think. Look, first seed, and they lost 4 games in a row now.
Yeah, no, right?
That's a pretty huge meltdown. That's a huge meltdown. And I was thinking, how much does that go back to coaching at the end of the day as well, right? So Quinn Snyder's been there for years now. I think probably 5 years. So if he couldn't get over the line against that Clipper team without Kawhi there for 2 games, you got to ask questions. So I'll be surprised if he survives, actually.
Yeah, and I think it is coaching or the guys. Maybe they recommended something and he wasn't. I guess they weren't executing, for example. But looking at it, I think they didn't come up with anything against the Clips, and they were just doing the same shit for game after game.
Yeah, there wasn't much imagination, I don't think, of that. But, man, Clippers and Phoenix, that is a pretty interesting, it's a very interesting matchup coming up. Who you got in that?
I really want
let's get our picks now.
Vegan to win his first chip.
Yeah, I would think so now. Yeah, that'd be cool to see Phoenix in the final rather than
because you got to look at Phoenix. You go, well, you've got an extra coach in that team in CP3, right? He's going to run the play even if the coach doesn't. He's going to create something. So it's really a battle of who's going to be healthy.
Yep.
and that just underlines everything this year.
Yeah. I know, right? It's so many injuries. So LeBron's tweet was interesting as well. I think people might say he was kind of saying, "I told you so," and making a case that why Lakers couldn't quite make it far this year, which is all true. But I guess on the other side, the league and the fans wanted basketball to be out, so it's a bit of a balance. Yeah, man, pretty cool matchup coming up. So Chris Paul's going to be missing.
I know, that's tears.
COVID?
They're like, what the
isolation,
hell?
I think. That's stuff. I know.
Yeah, he's already had his vaccine
too, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, as they say, it doesn't stop you getting it, but
man.
he's probably asymptomatic. Like, he's not even feeling it, Yeah.
Probably as healthy as ever. Yeah, but I think he'll only miss one game maybe, potentially, so that might be okay.
Well, they lose home court,
7-day isolation.
If they lose.
Yeah, true. And so far, Clippers, both rounds, they've lost the first 2 games and have come back, which is scary with that team. And obviously, Kawhi's out with a knee, and they're not saying exactly what it is, but some people are fearing that he might have issues with his ACL, which is crazy.
Okay.
Yep.
Head over to the East.
So,
what a game.
Philly and Atlanta.
Yep. I enjoyed it. There was scuffles. There was everything.
Yeah, no, I think I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I think I'm enjoying that. It's actually what's out at the moment. And I kind of predicted to a couple of my friends that Collins and Embiid are going to get into it, and they did eventually. It was going to happen. It was going to bubble. I kind of liked how how Embiid walked John Collins down and sat him
if
down.
you're JC, you stand up for yourself. What a little pussy, mate. Like, if you're going to start it, fucking, at least finish it.
Yeah. You mean Collins? Yeah, I know. I kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Embiid's probably like 30 kilos bigger than him, but good on him for having a little crack.
Yeah. At least it wasn't anything bad. It's just a little tech.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Really liked Harris's game. Tobias Harris stepped up when he needed to. And Embiid had a decent game. He didn't have the 30-plus type game that we were expecting. And Seth Curry, man, damn, he was shooting well, especially the first half. It's pretty cool to see.
He's the only one that's shot well in this series, like overall. Like he hasn't had any downtime.
He's lights out, man. He's lights out, no doubt.
And, with both Tobias and Simmons both picking up early fouls, it was good. Doc made the change and put little Maxi in, and bang, he is like a little firecracker.
Yeah, man, really, he kept them in it in the late first quarter and early second quarter. 16 points, and when Ben Simmons, the goofball, got really stupid fouls yesterday, and Maxi came in and made some really good plays, man. I think he needs to play more, to be honest. And Simmons, dude, he's a Melbourne boy, but man, he's not playing great basketball. Not yesterday's game, anyway.
Yeah, yesterday it was pretty bad. Like, I don't know, just looking at the fouls and you go, well, you wanted to be defensive player of the year, and these are not defensive player of the year moves, right? You've got to be. You're a point guard. You should be able to read the play a lot better than what he was doing.
Yeah, and he's an all-star. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Trae Young wasn't an all-star, and he was an all-star. I'm thinking, man, I don't know if it's just that game, but he was not going well.
Yeah, Trae has been consistent, right? And it was just funny that Simmons got another point, because at one point I was calling for him to have more fouls than points and be the only all-star to have more fouls than points.
Yeah, exactly. I think if they lose this series, if they lose that game 7, Simmons is getting shipped out to some town like Oklahoma City or something, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They're going to blow up that process.
Exactly. And the rotations are already pretty short already. They're really only playing, what was it, 8? Yep.
Howard comes in for a little rest for Embiid, and
Thibault wasn't getting any minutes. Usually he's on there because they've got him guarding Trae Young, right?
Yeah. I guess it worked.
And Shake didn't really. He had 4 minutes.
Yeah. So it's really Maxi and Hill. George Hill, obviously, is a pretty good backup point guard as well. So the 2 point.
Yeah, they use him to run the second squad usually.
Yeah. The 2 point guards played pretty well, but yeah, man, I think still Hawks, they blew a bit of a chance at home, especially when they were ahead first quarter and they let that second unit really go on a run. But you still got to take their chances, even the game 7 back in Philly. I still like them if they especially get Bogdanovic going. He had a bit of a knee issue. If they get him going and Gallinari going as well, I think they've still got a bit of a chance to pull this off.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it was JC and Bogdanovic. That was 7 points apiece. It was like, this is pretty bad. Pretty bad shooting from both of them.
Yeah.
John Collins was 2 of 8. Bogdanovic was 3 of 11. Even
and Lou Will.
Yeah, Lou Will wasn't doing anything as well.
Off the bench didn't. Yeah. So the next tier scorers didn't come to the party yesterday. So one of the reasons.
Yeah,
they lost. I
even
really
Trey,
liked it.
his percentage was not that great either. Like 13 of 30 overall.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I really like Kevin Huerta.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a good little redhead kid. Plays very solid. So yeah, it's
No, he did well, and like, I gotta call out Simmons, man.
yeah,
Like he's got to do something. Like if he's not contributing at all, there's no point putting him in.
yeah,
Like he only got 5 assists.
Yep.
Right. Trey Young got 12.
yep,
Right. You're not even running plays, and I'm watching him play. He's not even running any plays. Like he's handing it off,
yeah.
and his assists are cheap. They're cheap assists. Right?
Mm. And yeah, silly fouls too. You know, those fouls kill the team. It adds up to those team fouls at the end as well. So he's gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they don't post him up more. But you know, obviously, when Embiid's there, you can't have two guys posting up. That screws up the space.
I think that's why. I think they've. I reckon best thing is probably run Simmons with the second squad when when Embiid needs rest.
See what you're relegating him to the bench there.
Yep. And because they need a bigger guy in when they when they're running the second squad. I mean they've got Howard, but like
Yeah.
I don't know actually now. Thinking about it, then they'll have two guys that can't shoot down low.
Yeah. All right. It's a. I mean, they don't have one of the biggest missing pieces. Danny Green, right? It gives them nice balance with Green, Curry, Harris. There's always a couple of shooters on the floor, even when those other two guys are on. But with Green gone, and that's why I still think Atlanta, if they get it right, Game 7, and those other guys come out and score, they will still run away with it. So yeah, not having Danny Green there's a huge loss.
Well, let's go over to the other game, and
Yep.
which of these teams do you reckon will have a better chance against the other side?
Oh, Bucks, man, I do like the Bucks, right? I like they're a healthy team. Everyone's out there. Kyrie's not playing Game 7. Harden is playing. I don't know what.
The first game back, he played like dog shit.
Yeah, he looked pretty unfit. He wasn't even running fast. I think he's got a pretty bad hamstring. So
it looked fat too, mate. That's not going to help your hamstring.
He looked pretty chunky. Yeah, he looked pretty chunky. Those black tops though aren't flattering for him. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So yeah, but
I was watching it, and like he wasn't really making plays. He was really afraid to shoot the ball. Like I was watching it, and they're like he was. I can't remember who it was, but he was passing it back and forth. Like someone's passing it to him and go, that's his sweet spot. Yeah, he usually hits the three from there, and he's passing it back. Like he was open. Like, what are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, and I want to see more of PJ Tucker and KD going at it, man. They've had KD's been nice and heated so far, and PJ's going hard, man, trying to defend as hard as he can against one of the best scorers ever. He's shorter than him. KD can shoot over the top, but yeah, giving it his all. So I'm looking forward to that matchup today, and I think that's going to determine a lot, right? Because KD is going to have to come out and drop close to 50 again to win, unless Harden can get his fat ass into gear.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe give him the jab or something, and worry about the consequences later.
That's right. And Giannis, he might, Game 7, he might pick up KD a little bit more. This is a former Defensive Player of the Year that doesn't want to play on KD. So, I mean, they don't want to tire him out either and get get fouls, I suppose. But yeah, man, this is crucial for both guys. I mean, if Giannis goes on and wins this, most likely goes to the finals and in with a chance to win his first chip.
Yep. Well, it's the first time ever, I think the Bucks are saying, heading into conference finals for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, all these teams, right? Bucks haven't won one since they were, I think, the Minneapolis Lakers or something like that. Yeah, something crazy like that. Yeah, it's been like 50 years. Brooklyn never won a championship. Obviously, the New Jersey Nets made the finals quite a couple of times with Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin back in the day. I don't think Atlanta's ever won it, have they? I think they made finals.
As well. It's been, it was the last time with Horford and them. It was like ages ago, if you remember.
They got wiped for zip, right? Something like that.
Yeah, by LeBron.
Yeah, that's right. Conference finals. And I think over on the West, Clippers first time in the conference finals, and Phoenix, I think, have never won it. See, Charles Barkley took them to the finals a couple of times as well. So, yeah, whoever comes out, man, big. There'll be some new banners hanging up in the rafters. That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's what I like about the season, I think.
Change of seasons, mate. Change of seasons in the NBA. Who you got? Game 7s, both Game 7s.
Or I want to see the Nets win it.
Yep.
Just because I like Griffin. I want to see him win it.
Right.
For this, I reckon, like, I would like the Sixers to win, but I think Atlanta's going to come out firing. Just depends. Like, the officiating was actually terrible in Atlanta. I was looking at it, and they were calling some of the things that I was like, what the hell? And it was the same play. You could look at it. Same play on both ends of the floor. One got called, one totally they ignored it. And Embiid was right. He was really upset about the non-calls that they were getting. And we'll see how it goes back in Philly, though. So it's home court advantage. We'll see if the crowd does anything.
That's it. And if Ben comes alive, the big goofball. That's my new nickname for him. Yeah, look, I would like to see Trey get rewarded and go through an advance. But if not, I think Philly, it'll be kind of cool story, the process actually coming along and getting to the conference finals. So I think I will probably take Philly, given it's at home, and Ben to have a better game, and Embiid to probably try to close this thing out. Again, Brooklyn, man, I reckon in about 20 minutes time, KD's going to go pretty crazy and drop 40, 10 rebounds, about 8 assists, and ice it for Brooklyn. And hopefully Murray comes back with his injury next round, and it'll be a nice, fun series. Because I think it'll be fun to see all three of those guys in Brooklyn come out and play. We want to see the stars play, so.
Yeah, and KD's playing some big minutes.
Yeah, man, huge minutes. You hope Slim doesn't. I like Draymond's nickname for him, Slim. I hope Slim doesn't do some kind of injury again, right? Overuse, but anyway, we shall see. Looking forward to the game. Looking forward to both Game 7s. It's been damn fun, man. Getting us through the COVID period.
Yeah. Clown of the week.
Yeah.
Have you got one?
Well, I was gonna actually tool LeBron in a funny way. I was just gonna say, man, those tweets they're kind of real. The fact that all these players are away. But I think he was kind of trying to get a little bit of attention there too. So, fair point, LeBron, but a little bit toolish. So I'm giving him my tool.
Nice. I'm going to tell Ben, just stop making stupid fouls. You want to be Defensive Player of the Year, be recognised as an All-Star. All-Stars don't do stupid plays like that. Like, you do those games at the local, Big V competition, mate.
Yeah, no doubt, exactly. I hope we don't see him in playing for Sydney Kings or something, or Melbourne United anytime soon, because that game was more suited to the NBL, man. So Ben, please play better.
Yeah. Well, on another note, we'll finish off. What did you think of the trade for Al Horford?
Yeah, with OKC you're talking about?
Yeah, OKC and the Celtics.
Yeah.
The Celtics have brought him back.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. And getting rid of Kemba is the other thing, right? By Celtics. So, I guess they acknowledge that they need a little bit of size. But Al Horford's now 36 years old. I don't think he's going to help them out much. And I think one of my friends sent me that OKC's got 36 picks in the next something crazy, like next 7 years or something like that. It's 8 first-round picks this year, 36 draft picks in the next 7 years. So they're just hoarding picks at the moment. We'll see what they do with those picks. That's why I said earlier on, we might see our boy Ben Simmons in OKC or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's get prepped. Let's get ready. Big Game 7 coming up.
Absolutely. Time to get the popcorn out, get your drinks, and settle in for a good 2 hours of basketball.
Well, we're going to be signing off. So, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.
Tune in. Please share and tell all your friends and family. Peace out.